This is NFC North week, and I am confused about the NFC North. But before I get into that, let me tell you the teams that are in this division for those of you that do not know. So first, we have the Green Bay Packers, then we have the Detroit Lions, we have the Chicago Bears, and then we have the lovely Minnesota Vikings. The reason why I am confused about this division is because nobody really does anything the same in this division. Every team is completely different for different reasons, and that is what makes this division a little bit confusing. On one hand, you have the Minnesota Vikings, and for whatever reason, they cannot seem to get their offense figured out. And whenever you can't get your offense figured out, your defense can only do so much. We know the Vikings have a great defense. We're not sure what's going to happen with that offense. We're not sure who the quarterback is going to be. That is something that worries me. Speaking of quarterbacks that we know are going to be there, we know who the Chicago Bears quarterback is. We know what that offense is going to look like. We know what Caleb Williams did last year, but I don't really know what to do with that defense. I cannot get past the fact that I think that defense needs a pass rush, and until they get it, I'm not really sure what I think about the Chicago Bears on defense. Then that leaves me with the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are interesting because on paper, you might say with a healthy Micah Parsons, they might be the division favorites. But because he's not healthy, because they battle injuries, because the offense sometimes just looks discombobulated, I'm not really sure what to make about the Green Bay Packers any more than I am any other teams. And then you have your Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions historically have been the best team in this division. And then last year happens, they lost their OC, they lost their DC. Then I don't really know what is going on. I don't know what Detroit is going to do. I know that they're going to be able to fill out their roster. I know they're going to have a lot of talent on their roster, but I don't know what that means when it comes to winning games. When I look at this division, I'm not really sure what to do. It could go either way for me. It wouldn't shock me no matter who wins this division, and I'm not really sure who is actually the better team, and that is interesting for me. For this division, and I know this isn't going to be like groundbreaking news, whoever figures out their weakness the best is going to win this division. Whichever team is able to figure out some things to make it make sense is going to win this division. Because at the end of the day, you have to get stops, you have to be able to run the football, and you need decent quarterback play. So whoever is able to figure that out is going to win this division. The last thing I'll say about this division, it's going to be an interesting one to see what happens after the June 1st designations. If anybody is out there to enhance their team or to make their team better, it wouldn't shock me to see them go after those players. It also wouldn't shock me to see some shakeups on these teams. It just seems like every team could benefit from having one more thing or one more this or one more that, and it wouldn't shock me if these coaches go out and make those moves. Having said all of that, let me give you some previews for this division so you can see all the lovely people that I was able to speak to. If you're seeing this video, this is the reminder you didn't know you needed. So don't forget to hit that like button, double check and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. And if you're filling up to it, leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'll let you get back to your video.
And the standpoint, right? Name me a NFL team, Super Bowl team, that has a high-paid edge rusher and won a Super Bowl. They don't coincide with one another. They don't. Go down the line and think if you're going to find a highest paid or high paid or edge rusher, you're not going to find one at all. And that's the honest to God truth, because they don't coincide with each other. Highest paid does not produce Super Bowl results.
Yeah. So let's get into that, because I have a theory or a frustration with the Bears, because I do feel like they're lacking a pass rush a little bit. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like they're lacking a pass rush? Is it just me being on the outside looking in? Like, I feel like being able to get pressure on the quarterback hurt them in the playoffs, because it was like every quarterback they played had, in my opinion, too much time to like do what they wanted to do, literally and figuratively. Mm-hmm. But what do you think about that? Is that something that I'm thinking, or how do you feel about that?
Given the fact that we have a very, very long time before we kick off in September, mm-hmm. Because we have Montez Sweat at one edge, mm-hmm. and we have Austin Booker at the other edge, who, if he would have played and not gotten hurt, he probably would have finished with 10 to 12.
Got it. Okay, so somebody was hurt. Okay.
So again, excuse me. So again, I'm not worried about the edge. What I'm worried about is the D tackle position. But yes,
this overall feeling, we got the same offense. We still got Josh Jacobs. We still got weapons. We lost Romeo Dobbs, but I think that's just an opportunity creator for your guy Golden. And I think the offense is going to be what it is. We've had some coaching turnover. I think losing Jeff Hafley was really tough. Okay. And not really knowing what our defense is going to be has caused some, I wouldn't say concern, but questions, going back to the 4-3, the base defense. Jonathan Gannon coming in didn't really do a good job as a head coach, but he's a good defensive mind, and he's a
Yeah.
quirky dude. And so it's like, okay, Matt LaFleur is already a little bit of a quirky dude.
Yeah.
Jeff Hafley was like the nuts and bolts, get stuff done guy.
Okay.
And, you'll run through a brick wall for him. It's like some of the people are like, how are these coaches, these guys, like who's going to be the engine? Who's going to be the fire under their butts? So
Okay.
some questions to be made. Not having some weapons is going to cause some concern. So I think right now we're kind of in there's some things we got to figure out, and it's going to be through training camp and mini camp.
Yeah. I feel like I say this sometimes when we connect is the Packers are a lot like the Steelers in that it's like a legacy team that you're always like, we're not going to be like the worst,
right?
But we don't really know what good is going to be, like where we're going to cap on the good meter. And so it's always weird to kind of figure out like, where do we actually fall in this whole madness? So I respect that. So how was the draft this year?
The word that I would use to describe the Lions draft class would be indifferent.
Fair.
And that's because you can't win the draft in April. I mean, you can't win the season in April, right? You have to, some players take a year, some players take two, some players take to the second contract until the expectation is finally met. And just going back a little bit, I only say that it's deflating and indifferent. Like I use these phrases because it's all about winning. Nothing else matters. Like the Lions have had you at the highest of highs and at the lowest of lows, more lows than highs, and they still haven't got to the Super Bowl in most of our lifetimes. So, well, never. I mean, they've never made it. So, in nobody's lifetime have you ever seen the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl. And you've seen the Cardinals and the Saints and the Buccaneers and some of the teams that sucked the most in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And even the Falcons, you've seen some really bad teams or organizations historically make it to the Super Bowl. But as far as the draft, you can't win. You can't win the season in April. So that's how I feel.
They have a coach that gets hyped up. Everybody talks about how great of a coach he is. You have, he's the quarterback whisperer. We just brought in Kyler Murray. We have Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL if he gets the right quarterback. You got Brian Flores, arguably the best defensive coordinator. The Vikings should be a playoff team at least. I'm asking for a wild card at least. Come on now. I don't feel like it ain't like me talking like I'm a Jets fan. Shout out to my mama. She a Jets fan. Don't kill me, Mom. But, it ain't like I'm a Jets fan trying to say, oh, yeah, we need to make the playoffs and win 2 playoff games and make the AFC champion. Like, listen, bro, come on. So that's kind of what success looks like for me. And I think, a lot weighs on Kevin O'Connell to make that happen because when you look at the NFC North, he is the only coach now in our division that hasn't won a playoff game, but yet he gets the most hype. Okay, you got Brad Johnson or what's his name? Is it Ben Johnson? Yeah, Ben Johnson comes in, wins a playoff game off the back, right? Like wins one at least. You got Campbell, and then obviously LaFleur. Yeah. All of those coaches have won playoff games, some multiple. Kevin O'Connell keeps getting hyped up about being the best coach. He's this, that, and the third. Listen, we're going on season 5. Let that sink in. This needs to happen this year. That's what success is going to look. That's what a successful season will look like. Will be us going to the playoffs and actually winning too, not just making.
As with every week, every single person I talk to is going to be in the description. If they have a YouTube channel, I'm going to also add them as a collaborator. I will also continue to premiere every video every day, Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. Central. Having said all of that, let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, I'll see you in my next video.